Welcome to Coast Vue, the show that every single day celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such a great place to live, work, and play. Hey, I want to thank you for listening to Coast Vue. The feedback we continue to get every day is just incredible. We appreciate you paying attention, and the stories of inspiration. I love the feedback that you get inspired by these shows. I certainly get inspired myself. Today, I have a very special guest, and there's a lot of inspiration in this conversation. So let me tell you a little bit about what we're going to do today, and then I'll invite my guest to join us. Adrienne Elliott came to the coast from Canada. She came here with her husband, Brandon, who was at the time playing professional hockey. They literally fell in love with the coast and started what we all know now as Elliott Homes. It's an award-winning real estate development company. Over the years, they have really set a great example for what it means to give back to the community. I'll give you an example. They designed, built, and donated 7 St. Jude Dream Homes, valued at more than $5 million for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. They built and donated the Lynn Meadows Discovery Center Welcome Station. I could go on and on. Their contributions to the community have been great. In short, I like to refer to people like Adrienne and Brandon Elliott as people who live by example. They're out there showing you through their actions what it means to give back to the community. They see the link between giving back to the community and building a very solid company that can contribute to coastal Mississippi. Over the time, though, Adrienne actually has become a bit of a social media influencer. Just on her Instagram account alone, she has over 11,000 followers. So when she recently did a very moving post on her social media platforms about her breast cancer diagnosis, it really caught my attention. The way she did it was incredibly important. And what she was hoping for and what she still hopes for is for people to seek early detection. As my friend Robin Roberts from Good Morning America, Robin is from Pastor's Jam. Most people know that. Robin has taught us that exactly what Adrienne is doing to make her challenge her message. She wants to inspire others to focus on early detection. So without any further ado, let me welcome my friend Adrienne Elliott to Coast Vue. How you doing, Adrienne?
I'm doing great, and I'm honored that you've asked me to do this today.
Well, I have to be honest with you. First of all, my daughter, Tori, who teaches at St. James, knows you well. She thinks the world of you, and she sees the responsibility you have as a social media influencer. So when you were an influencer because you're a designer, you're a woman entrepreneur who's done some incredible things. I'm sure all those things add up to what has given you the opportunity to have so many followers. But within the realm of that influence, you saw an opportunity through your challenge to really have a message that might be able to help others, and that touched me. But what kind of thoughts did you go through to make a decision that you were going to do that?
So, you never think you're going to be the person that's told that you have cancer, and the way my story happened was really shocking. And so, to be honest, when I found out, I was an hour and a half away from home on my own. And so I sat in the parking lot after I found out and took it all in. And, your world just completely stops. But now thinking back, I think that I was given that moment, that drive alone to process it and to even realize that I truly was meant to share this. And like I said in my little Instagram reel, I didn't even know how or why, but I just had this feeling come over me where I was meant to. And I still hope that, it comes more and more into fruition over the years. But there's already been so many women that have reached out. So as we were talking earlier, if that can save one person, hopefully that was my reason. If not, to just inspire women of all ages, as scary as it is, to seek early detection. But Yeah, I honestly, it was just that drive home where it hit me that I needed to do something with this.
I think it's important that you did, and it will impact other people's lives. What was so special about your Instagram post was not only your diagnosis and what you intended to do in a positive way from it, but you reflected a bit on your three girls and how supportive Brandon has been to you. And you want to live, and you want to be part of their lives, and they want to be part of yours. That's a major motivation for you, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You're making me tear up just even thinking back to that day. Because I did come home, and this is going to sound crazy, but it was honestly easier to not be around them for the first few days taking it in than it was to be around them. And it's just because you don't know, you're so out of control. But Brandon gave me so much strength. And, you look at your girls, we had dance recital that night, and you just show up as a mom or, whoever you are, mom, dad, whatever it might be. And you're faced with this challenge, and you can choose to be a victim, or you can choose to use this and hopefully inspire and give strength to others. And most important to me was to share it as a story of hope. That was one of the big things that I wanted to share. And, so many people go through a lot more than I've had to. So there's been moments of even guilt. I'm in these offices with an oncologist and just kind of thinking, like, why am I the one that has been so lucky? But I have to channel that as a way to spread hope and say that, you know what, it is scary as it could possibly be, but there's so much more that we can do. And so if I can be the smallest voice in that, I hope that comes across.
What's important about what you said is that your particular diagnosis, you could have lived with it for a number of years without even knowing that you had it. And the type of cancer that it was, by then it would have been, well, you can't say too late, but it would have been devastating.
Right.
The fact that you caught yours early and were very aggressive with the treatment, so far the prognosis is very positive, but it's positive because you sought early detection. Talk a little bit more about that.
Sure. So to keep my story short, I had a mammogram last year, which is even a crazy part of the story, which was clear. My mom had breast cancer. She had a different type of breast cancer. In all of the story, I was tested for the gene, and we don't carry it. So that's incredible. With the three girls, that was a huge relief. But I had a breast lift done, and I chose to do pathology. And what they do is they take some of the tissue and they test that. So at my 1 week post-op of that surgery is when the surgeon told me that I had breast cancer. And all he could say was that it was extremely small, and that because of that, it would not have been detected on a mammogram for years. And so the fact that they caught it that early is honestly a miracle, that's what they've been telling me. And even though I did the double mastectomy, he was that little piece that he tested, they got it all out. So, but I wouldn't have known that had I not gone through those steps for detection and to just, as you put it, aggressive, strategy to get it out of my body and keep living as a mom for a very long time.
You know what's interesting about your story, and I've had the opportunity to get to know Brandon. He's been on my show a couple of times. Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's an incredibly compelling story. The way you two decided to stop pursuing the professional hockey world and move aggressively into building homes. And you didn't just form Elliott Homes on a whim. I mean, you started slow and steady, and you guys were, up to your elbows and laying floors and doing the things that normal, it's a start. It's the start of a business, and you get your hands dirty. You really don't know what you're doing initially. You know what your goal is, but you really don't know. From that moment to where you are today, it's been an incredible journey of watching two people collaborate as entrepreneurs to build something that is really special. And what touches me about that journey is the fact that you decided along the way that you were going to give back to the community, a community you didn't grow up in, a community that you came to and made it your home and decided that you were going to give back to your new home in ways that were going to build a better community. When we come back on the other side, it is interesting that your message now around your breast cancer diagnosis and early detection is really just an extension in a way of your commitment to the community that started evolving a long time ago. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get on the other side. This is Adrienne Elliott, and we'll see you after this break. I have my friend Adrienne Elliott with us today, and she recently was diagnosed with breast cancer that she has, they have sought aggressive therapy to deal with. And the message from her experience is that early detection can literally save lives, and she wants to make sure that point is being made as clearly as she knows how. How I came to know about it is, my daughter Tori teaches at St. James. She knows Adrienne, thinks the world of her. She has told me, I've since gone to take a look at it, the number of followers she has, for example, on Instagram, and the incredible posts that she did about her challenge. But she has a great story to tell. And in a way, as I mentioned, the work that she's doing now to get the message out about early detection seems to be sort of just a natural evolution of the work that she's done in the community, that her and her husband, Brandon, have believed from almost the beginning that in order to have a solid business, you have to be willing to give back to the community. There's a direct connection between giving it to the community and having a successful business. Where did that come from, Adrienne?
It's so crazy listening to you right now because you're kind of helping me piece it together. I've never thought of it that way. So it's just been in our hearts ever since we moved to the coast. Everyone's been so welcoming and genuine and authentic. And that's the type of people that we always want to be. And so it sort of fell into place. And now hearing about mostly women so far, but it does affect men too. In this cancer world, in this sisterhood, they call it, and they're reaching out to me and saying, thank you for sharing and telling me their story. And at least, we're listening ears to each other. And it is bringing the community. It is bringing it full circle. And so thank you for bringing that together for me, because you just gave me another part of the chapter of a way to share this hope and this story, and hopefully help somebody be inspired to have early detection.
Yeah, when you grew up in Canada, Toronto, did you ever in your wildest imagination think that you would be on the Mississippi Gulf Coast working with this company that you and your husband developed called Elliott Homes, and being almost ubiquitous? I mean, all across coastal Mississippi, there are signs of different angles of development. One of the things that's really impressive in my conversations with Brandon has been the way you've had to turn on the dime, the fact that the pandemic has changed your business in fundamental ways, and you're responding to that. You're changing with the situation to meet the needs of the community. Did you ever in your wildest imagination think that you would be in this moment?
No, never. And it's crazy. I came from a city in Ontario, Canada, called Mississauga. So from Mississauga to Mississippi, here we are. And when we first started Elliott Homes, like you mentioned, Brandon and I did all aspects of home building together. We moved 28 times together, finally settled. But, it's been a journey, and this is now added to it that we've done together, and, wholeheartedly together. We enjoy being together, and we have an incredible team. And so this is home, and this is where we're meant to be to spread whatever it is we can to this coast that's taken us in and accepted us as a family.
So you got a degree in sociology, but you also got an associate degree in design. So design has always been something you've been very interested in.
Yeah.
This has really given you an opportunity to let your creative juices flow being involved in this business, hasn't it?
Oh, 100%. And I think that's part of the way it evolved together, where Brandon, we found our strengths and we always stayed in our lane. So we don't have the crazy dramatic stories of the couples that couldn't work together because we just value what each other bring. And so to me, it's been almost a gift to be able to dive into that design world even more. And with St. Jude.
Yeah, I saw, we'll come back to St. Jude's, in fact, but I saw the post by the new owner, or the owner of Radish, that new boutique restaurant in Long Beach, where he thanked you for your design. But you've had the opportunity to contribute beyond just the Elliott Homes, haven't you?
Yes, and I look forward to doing more of that. That was, even to go back to your comments on community, to be able to design some retail spaces has been really inspiring to me, and to just bring new life to the coast and get to meet these amazing restaurant owners and realtor offices. So it's been fun.
Well, we could go into detail. We don't have the time to do it, but the commitment it takes to build and design, or design and build 7 and donate 7 St. Jude Dream Homes, that's an incredible commitment to the community. That's what I refer to as living by example, putting your money where your mouth is. It's incredible what you guys have done. But coming back to your message, the message is very clear. Seek early detection. What more do you want to say about that?
I think I just want to encourage women and men to, as soon as you have a feeling or something is going on, do not be afraid. It's easy for me to say because I found it in a way without finding a lump or anything like that. However, the sooner you find it, your chances of survival are extremely high. And going through it all, if anyone is going through it or wants to reach out to me, please do. I would be happy to be there with you and to just share a message of hope and authenticity in that, you can beat it and you can fight it. And there's this incredible world of doctors and people that surround you and lift you up. So I'm extremely, extremely grateful for that.
There's been so much research on breast cancer.
Yes.
Over the years, they know so much more than they used to know. So, the key with early detection is that they can develop a battle plan that can get you to a place where you're not having to go through chemo and radiation and all this other stuff.
Right.
That's your case, at least for the time being. That is for sure the case.
Yes.
That's notable, isn't it?
I am beyond grateful, but that just adds to the story of hope, that the sooner you find it, there are these chances that you may not have to go through any of that. And if you do, it's just going to cure you and you get to move on with your life and, enjoy this beautiful place that we get to call home.
Before we get done, tell me about your girls.
So we have 3. We have Kennedy, she's 7, and then we have identical twin girls, Harper and Juliet, that are 5 in kindergarten this year. So they are our reason, they just keep us going and on our toes.
I often say about my kids and my grandkids that God has a way of not reminding us that it's almost like our memories are wiped out. We don't remember the time before we had kids, because when we have kids, none of that even matters anymore. Our whole lives change, and the nucleus of everything we do, at least with most people, it's the kids and the legacy that you're leaving and the kind of example that you're setting. The girls may not necessarily understand it today, but in the future, they'll look back on the inspiration that you've been as a result of your challenge. And believe me, it will mean even more to them. And they'll remember, how could you have been a better mom, because you were already a great mom. But it does make you want to be even better, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. There was we went back and forth on telling the girls, and it was Brandon actually who inspired me to say, let's go ahead and tell them. And that's another thing I would recommend, because they were able to understand more and learn. And if they had questions, we could answer. And so, he just said, Paige, this is real life. We can't hide this from them. And so to me, that was encouraging to share with them. And they were able to see us as a family unit go through this together.
You heard what I mentioned at the beginning, but when you think about people like John Carter, who's done the boating for boobies, the pink boat parade, and men don't wear pink, or whatever the slogan is. But the work that so many people are doing across coastal Mississippi to bring attention to this, that they're raising significant amounts of money to help with research and development and to help people who are less fortunate. Man, we can't do enough efforts like that, can we?
Absolutely not. And, once it hits you, you just want to help even more. So I'm in.
I know you are. Hey, listen, Adrienne Elliott, it has been a pleasure to chat with you today. Thank you, number one, for being willing to tell your story and to inspire others to seek early detection. It's important that you're willing to tell your story. Again, if people are not currently a follower of yours on Instagram, I would really encourage them to look you up, Adrienne Elliott, at Instagram, and see that incredibly touching post that you did. And through that means, and the post you did on Facebook for doing shows like this today, you're going to inspire some people to really aggressively seek out early detection. And I appreciate you being willing to do that. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for your time and making me tear up, Ricky.
Yeah, well, you're a special person. Have a great day, Adrienne. We'll see you after this break.